Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I am filming my October and November book haul for you all. So I've been acquiring a lot less books these last few months of the year because I've kind of started, it like finally hit me that despite all this time I have with social distancing, that I'm still not reading a lot. And so with every safe trip I take to my local used bookstore, I'm taking in less and less books and only really bringing in things that I am really like excited to read. Before, I'd probably pick up stuff that I am somewhat interested in, so not in any particular order. I don't really remember which books I got first. It's not really important. I'll start with the book at the top of the stack, which is The Girl from Everywhere by Heidi Heilig. So this book is about a girl named Nyx, and her father can sail to any place at any time that they want, so long as they have the proper, I think, map to do it. And they've been doing this for a while, until, I'm assuming, one day her father decides to go to the place where he knows that Nyx's mother will be, and Nyx is really unsure of this decision. She doesn't know if by going back to her mother, who I'm assuming has like passed away, so they're probably going back in time to find her, if that will affect Nyx's existence, if she'll like be blinked out of time. Not totally sure. Time in itself is like one of my favorite tools or tropes that is used in like fantasy, but I know that sometimes it's kind of hard to comprehend what the rules are, since different authors and writers like have different understanding of like time and timelines. And I'm pretty sure this is like a standalone, and I need to read more standalone sci-fi fantasy stuff. I also picked up Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. I picked this up because I somewhat recently read Warrior of the Wild by Trisha Levenseller, and I wanted to read more Viking stuff. So our main character, Island, is part of this clan or this tribe, and she's grown up a warrior and incredibly loyal to her clan, until one day on the battlefield, while her clan is fighting like their rival clan, she sees that her brother, who she thought was dead, is actually fighting for the rival clan. And I'm not sure if she tries to like infiltrate it, find out what happened. That's pretty much all I know. It sounds really cool. Again, it's a standalone. I need to read more standalones. I'm hoping that this is more of like a family driven story. I don't really want like a end all be all romance and something that's kind of short. I've also heard great things about Adrienne Young's writing, so it sounds cool. The cover looks amazing. So I also have The Monstromologist by Rick Yancey. This is, I think, a middle grade series. I'm not totally sure. And our main character, Will Henry, is the orphan apprentice of a doctor who studies monsters. So I'm not sure if they are like medical examiners or they're like doctors that specialize in monsters. I'm not totally sure. That very bare premise was like really interesting to me. I'm hoping that this is more middle grade because I really like middle grade. I think I've heard a few other booktubers talk about how the series isn't really talked about enough, but I'm assuming that there's some sort of mystery at play here, and our main character and his the person he's studying under tries to solve it. Sounds fun. Has obviously won some sort of award. After that, I have a book that I already read with some like real life friends, like not on social media, and that is The Perfect Stranger by Megan Miranda. I have previously read Megan Miranda's other book, All the Missing Girls, I believe is what it's called, and that book is really well hyped, well loved. I liked it myself. I thought that book, like writing wise, was fantastic. So this book is about a woman named Leah Stevens, and she has recently got into some trouble that I won't get into. She basically needs to start over her life. Coincidentally, a girl that she used to know when she was in college and university kind of comes back into her life, and they both decide to start their lives somewhere else in, I want to say, rural Pennsylvania. And then one day, a body turns up in a lake, and on the same day she notices that her roommate that she changed her life with is missing, and this is somewhat connected. And she notices that her roommate, the woman that she thought she knew, someone that she doesn't really know, she doesn't know a lot about her life, she's been lied to, and that's pretty much the story. She doesn't really know anything like she thought she did. That's pretty much it. I read it, don't want to get too much into it, but I thought it was fine. After that, I picked up the last book in the Magicians series by Lev Grossman. This is The Magician's Land. The Magician series has been called like the adult Harry Potter series, and yes, there's like a magical school setting, but this book and like Harry Potter have completely different tones. The characters in this series, from what I can remember, because I did start reading the first book, the magicians are all kind of unlikable, and I think that's pretty much like the point. Like, all these characters are supposed to kind of be like not the best. But yeah, there's a magical school setting, and our main character has this like huge love for this like Narnia-esque series as a child, and as he grows up, he basically gets invited to like go to this university school that is connected to what he thought was this fictional book series. It's strange. I did start reading the first book and I had to put it down because of school. Eventually I'll get back into it, but I wanted to complete trilogy, which is why I bought the third book before actually starting the series again. I also have The Bells by Danielle Clayton. This was a really hyped up series as well, and I think there's 2 books. I'm not sure if it's a duology or anything. If I remember correctly, this world has characters called bells, and they like control and manipulate beauty in a world where beauty does not exist, and our main character is a belle. Our main character is a belle, and she wants to be like the best belle, and I think she wants to be like the queen's personal belle. I'm not sure if there's some sort of competition aspect. I don't know much synopsis wise, but I like the idea of like manipulating beauty, which is something that's so subjective, and I like to see how that it plays out here. So my camera kind of just did something funny, and I'm gonna pretend that nothing changed. Let's pretend this is where I was originally. Okay, next I have The Queen's Resistance by Rebecca Ross. This is the second and last book in the Queen's Rising duology. In this world, people are encouraged to master their passions, which are essentially subjects like art, I want to say music, wit, knowledge, things like this. And after they have mastered the subject, they are asked by a lord to be their patron in order to, like, I guess, further their mastery of said passion. And our main character has never really found a passion that she's really good at. I'm assuming she's more of like a jack of all trades, master at none type. And when the day comes where she's supposed to have a patron, no one offers to be her patron, so she thinks that she's like totally screwed and that her life is over, until one day a disgraced lord approaches her and offers her to be her patron. And that's pretty much the story. It's a duology I haven't started because I like to collect the books within a series before I actually start. I didn't hear a lot about this one. I saw the first book in like book boxes and like subscriptions, but I never actually saw some discussion about it. But I think the premise sounds interesting. I'm getting like Jedi Master Padawan vibes. So after that, I picked up the first and second books in the Wraith Chronicles, I think is what it's called, by Michael J. Sullivan. I know that there are books that take place after these first 2 books that are supposed to be read first, like books 3, 4, and 5 I think are supposed to be read before these, and these were published after the fact. But chronologically, these are like the first 2, if I'm correct. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But the first book at least follows a warrior and an assassin who are brought together to, I think, pull off a heist that is created by this, I want to say, a wizard, and they have to learn to work together to like pull off this heist. That's pretty much all I know from the first book. I don't want to read the summary of the second book because I don't want to get spoiled. But yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about Michael J. Sullivan specifically, and I know that the other books in this series or this world, Theft of Swords and everything after that, is well liked. And I'm fine picking up books I know like nothing about if they're really well liked by the fantasy community like as a whole. So I picked up the first 2. The next book I kind of just picked off the shelf because I thought the spine looked interesting, but I've never heard anyone talk about it. I've never heard about this author, and the book is The City by Stella Gemmell. I don't think this is like any part of a series. I think it's a standalone, but this book takes place in a city that used to be, I guess, like some sort of like thriving metropolis, and now it's kind of like a barren wasteland, and the ruler or the emperor of the wasteland is still alive, despite the fact that he's supposed to be very, very, very old, but he, I think, is seen as really, really young. So I'm not sure if there's some sort of magic at play that keeps him like alive and powerful. And I think there's some sort of like brewing rebellion, revolution stirring up in the city to kind of overthrow this like evil emperor. And the rebellion, I think, is led by the Emperor's former general who's supposed to be dead. That's actually a trope that I really enjoy, that I want to read more of, where a character's like thought to be dead but like surprised, like I'm still here. I think that's so cool. And lastly, I also got an arc for Lore by Alexandra Bracken. I'm going to try to include more arcs in these hauls of mine. It's hard to include like Kindle Unlimited reads that I pick up because usually those are done on a whim and I can always return them, but for arcs, those are like specifically given to me like after I request them, so I'll try to remember to include them. But Lore by Alexandra Bracken is kind of hard to explain, but I'll try my best. I try not to read like the full synopsis because I might get spoiled, but this takes place in a world where Greek gods, a specific number of Greek gods, are forced to walk the earth like among mortal people, but they're also hunted down by families that have been wronged by these specific Greek gods. And I think our main character Lore is a person who's hunting down a specific god. I could be wrong. I might be. The synopsis is kind of weird, but I thought it looked interesting. I'm all for Greek imaginings, retellings. I've already started seeing reviews. I believe it comes out in January. I'll put the date somewhere down here. I'll probably do a formal review of arcs on my channel at least. I can do individual reviews for like other books if I'm asked to, but I want to like commit myself to do like arcs, review arcs on this channel. So those are all the books that I've collected during the months of October and November. Let me know if you've read any of these, what your thoughts are on any of these, if you've heard of them or not. Thank you so much for watching. I'll link all my socials down below, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.